Dear students, in this video, we will learn about biogeochemical cycling in an ecosystem. The term biogeochemical cycling means cycling of the nutrients to living organisms. So, energy flow in an ecosystem take place through nutrient cycling or biogeochemical cycling. We will do in this video the detailed knowledge about the biogeochemical cycling. It occurs through various cycles like carbon, oxygen, nitrogen, and water cycles. Energy flow take place through the living organisms through soil, air, etc. in a cyclic manner through different cycles. This whole system is known as biogeochemical cycling. Let us do it one by one. First of all, we will discuss about water cycle or the hydrological cycle, that how water keep on cycling in a ecosystem. So all of you know very well water has different sources on the surface of earth. It occurs in different forms, that is rivers, streams, ocean, lakes, etc. The water cycle includes three basic steps: evaporation, condensation, and precipitation. So, what do you mean by evaporation? The evaporation means loss of water from the upper surface of the water bodies in the form of water vapors. When these water vapors evaporates, they enter into the atmosphere through a process known as evaporation. Similarly, water enters into the atmosphere through the process of transpiration from the stomatal opening of green plants through the surface of their leaves. So it means evaporation occurs from the surface of the water bodies, or transpiration occurs from the surface of the lower surface of the leaves of green plants, and water enters into the atmosphere. This water, which is in the form of water vapors, it undergoes condensation, means the warm, moist air rises upwards due to the convection current, and it leads to the formation of clouds. So, the cloud formation is followed by precipitation. The moist air masses, they rise up to the atmosphere, it become cold. The condensed water vapors, they undergo precipitation to take different forms like rain, snow, sleet, hail, fog, mist, etc. It means now this water comes back to the earth in different forms, that is rain, snow, hail, or fog. This water is received by oceans, lakes, streams, rivers in the form of rain or snow or other forms. So in this way, the ocean receive almost 75% of total water after the precipitation. So water keeps on regulating itself in the nature in the form of water cycle through these basic processes, that is evaporation, transpiration, condensation, and precipitation in almost all the ecosystems. I hope so. You must came to know now how water cycling take place. You can see here in the summarized form that from the various water bodies present on the surface of the earth or from the groundwater, water undergoes evaporation and transpiration, and then it undergoes condensation to form the clouds. From the clouds, it undergoes precipitation and come back again to the surface of the earth in the different water bodies in different forms. Now next cycle we are going to do carbon dioxide cycle, that how atmospheric carbon cycle occurs in the ecosystem. So all of you know very well carbon cycle is mainly concerned with carbon dioxide. So carbon dioxide is the gas present in the atmosphere which can be fixed by green plants through the process of photosynthesis. The green plants can absorb carbon dioxide from the atmosphere and it can use it as a raw material for the preparation of the food. The green plants, they take it through the process of photosynthesis and lead to the formation of carbohydrates in different forms, that is in the form of leaves, fruits, etc. So these green plants are taken up as food by the animals known as consumers. So both plants and animals, they undergo death and decay. So all of you know very well, all the plants, all the animals, they have to undergo death and decay, and it lead to the formation of fossil fuels in the form of coal, oil, natural gas after millions of years of their decomposition. These fossil fuels, which are in the form of coal, oil, or natural gas, they can be used as fuel, and after the combustion or after burning of these fuels, there is a release of carbon dioxide back into the atmosphere after the process of combustion. So, carbon dioxide, which is released into the atmosphere through the burning activities of wood, timber, or the plants, and by the respiration of the various plants and animals, it is fixed again by the green plants, which enter into the food chain through the herbivores, then to carnivores, and again to decomposers. So the depleted carbon content of the atmosphere is replenished by the respiration of the various living organisms or by the decomposition of the dead bodies and waste by the bacteria and fungi or by the burning of the fossil fuels. You can see in the diagram that basic process involved is carbon dioxide is being absorbed by the process of photosynthesis, and these plants, they release the oxygen and the carbohydrates, and ultimately carbon dioxide is being added into the environment through the combustion or by respiration. In this way, carbon dioxide cycle or carbon cycling is self-regulatory cycle in all the ecosystems. After that, we are going to study about the oxygen cycle. So all of you know oxygen is present in the atmosphere in the form of oxygen. Its percentage in the air is almost 21%. So it is very important for the respiration or the oxidation of the food in all the living animals and the humans. So during respiration, oxygen is taken up by the living organisms and CO2 and water is released by the living organisms as a byproduct. So this CO2 is again taken up by the green plants as raw material through the process of photosynthesis. So it means CO2 and oxygen cycles are interlinked. So oxygen help in the process of combustion and releases CO2 and water as byproduct. Oxygen undergoes combination with various compounds to form the oxides, which further undergoes reduction and leads to the formation of the organic compounds. In this way, oxygen cycle is also self-regulatory mechanism through the green plants. So it means green plants are producers of the oxygen. They are the only producers of the oxygen on the surface of Earth. So that means to maintain the carbon dioxide cycle and the oxygen cycle, you can see green plants play a very important role. So you can see in this cycle, oxygen is present in the atmosphere in the form of oxygen. This is taken up by the green plants or it undergoes combination with the oxides and undergo reduction to form the organic compounds, and it is used by respiration by various animals and the human beings. All the animals and human beings, they release CO2 and water as a byproduct. This CO2 is taken up as a raw material by the green plants and through the process of photosynthesis, it again reaches to the atmosphere in the form of oxygen. So next cycle is new nitrogen cycle. So nitrogen is also very important component of the atmosphere. It occurs in the form of N2 and it constitutes almost major part of the air, that is more than 71%. The atmospheric nitrogen which is present in the air undergoes nitrogen fixation first of all through the rhizobium bacteria which are present in the root nodules of leguminous plants. So all of you know very well what are leguminous plants whose roots are nodulated roots like pea, grams, etc. All the pulses are leguminous plants. The atmospheric nitrogen which is fixed by the rhizobium bacteria gets converted into nitrates through the process of nitrogen fixation. As seen in the equation below, atmospheric nitrogen is converted into nitrates through the process of nitrogen fixation with the help of rhizobium bacteria. So nitrogen is present in the air, but nitrates are present in the soil. These nitrates are taken up by the cereal plants for their growth, or they get converted into nitrites through the process of nitrification with the help of nitrifying bacteria. As you can see in the equation, nitrates which are present in the soil get converted to nitrites through the process of nitrification using nitrifying bacteria, that is NO2. It is again present in the soil only. The nitrites get converted to ammonia through the process of ammonification by the action of ammonifying bacteria. This ammonia is present in the air. Ammonia gets converted into atmospheric nitrogen again through the process of denitrification by the action of denitrifying bacteria. As seen in the equation, ammonia which was present in the air, it has now been converted to free nitrogen through the denitrification. So we can see the whole nitrogen cycling is occurring through various living organisms as shown in the diagram, that we are having nitrogen present in the atmosphere is fixed through nitrogen fixation, then to nitrification, then denitrification. So we can see in the figure all this nitrogen content is being cycled in a very self-regulatory mechanism automatically in the ecosystem. So what we have learned during the whole video, that energy flows in any ecosystem is unidirectional in nature. It starts from producers because producers are taken up by the herbivores. Herbivores are taken up by the carnivores. Carnivores are eaten up by the decomposers. So it is flowing in one direction only. It cannot flow in the reverse direction. Energy flow in any food chain, it occurs according to the law known as 10% law. So this law states that only 10% of energy get transferred from the first trophic level, means first step, to the next trophic level or next step of any food chain, while 90% of energy goes waste to the environment. So you can see in this chain, if carrots are producers, they are eaten up by the rabbit, only 10% of energy of carrots will go to rabbit, rest 90% will go back to the environment. So in the end, we can conclude that all the ecosystems, they undergo energy flow in an ecosystem, in any ecosystem, through biogeochemical cycling. That is the reason all the ecosystems are self-maintained, self-sustained, self-regulatory. So in this way, we can say, what is biogeochemical cycling? Biogeochemical cycling or nutrient cycling occur in a cyclic manner through various cycles like water cycle, CO2 cycle, oxygen cycle, nitrogen cycle in any ecosystem. I hope so. You have understood the topic now that energy flow in any ecosystem take place through biogeochemical cycling or nutrient cycling. Thank you very much. I hope so. You must have liked this video. Kindly share with your friends. Thank you very much.